ESPN over the weekend ran for Women's History Month a celebration of Leah Thomas winning a 500-meter NCAA championship. They called her a women's hero. If you wonder how we have ended up in this world where you have situations where men are dominating in women's sports, and you have scenarios where somehow people are out there bragging about what exactly happened surrounding this situation, it's because ESPN has fundamentally broken itself and has lost control. This is crazy. Women's History Month honoring Leah Thomas, a man who decided to compete as a woman. And I thought I want to give the word here to Riley Gaines, a University of Kentucky women's swimmer who competed against Leah Thomas. And this was, I thought, incredibly well said. Riley Gaines said, Leah Thomas is not a brave, courageous woman who earned a national title. He is an arrogant cheat who stole a national title from a hardworking, deserving woman. The NCAA is responsible. If I was a woman working at ESPN, I would walk out, "You're spineless, ESPN." Hashtag boycott ESPN. I think that's well said by Riley Gaines. I give credit to her for speaking out about this direct attack upon women's athletics. And if you wondered about the noxiousness of the woke agenda, consider what ESPN did here. As your kids or your grandkids sit down to watch sports stories, they are being told that Leah Thomas, a man who has decided to identify as a woman, is a courageous part of women's history. This is not true. Sports is about the best man or woman winning. It's not about the best man who identifies as a woman winning. If that becomes a reality, every sport in America that involves women's athletics becomes a sham. And if you're wondering, it's only men who identify as women that can compete for championships, right? It's not women who identify as men. Women who identify as men cannot even make, by and large, the male teams, much less win championships. That's because biology is real. Look, we have age limits. We have size limits as it pertains to the children that are in terms of the schools that they go to. We have weight limits in boxing. We have all sorts of permutations and rules that are in place to keep someone from cheating. And I'll just point out, do you remember the kid in the Bronx, Danny Altamonte, I believe was his name, who attempted at 14 years old to play in the Little League World Series? Everybody lost their minds over what a threat to competition it was to have a 14-year-old boy pretending to be a 12-year-old boy. Well, here we have a man pretending to be a woman. This is far worse than a 2-year age gap, yet we're trying to be taught that this is normal. And there's a lot of people out there, including this loser Sports Center anchor who spent the entire Sunday coming after me for talking about this incident, who refuses to say whether he thinks women should be able to identify, men should be able to identify as women and dominate in women's athletics. Look, you can agree or disagree with me on any number of issues out there, okay? You can agree or disagree with me on anything. What you should know is I don't have to do this, right? If you're wondering, what is Clay Travis's agenda? My agenda is basically the same as it has always been, to tell you exactly what I think. I've got enough money to retire and ride off into the sunset, okay? I'm very fortunate. To me, if you're a viewer, what that would tell me is something pretty significant. Unlike a lot of people out there who might have to carry water for ideas they disagree with, as many ESPN employees are doing by shutting up their mouths, even though they know that everything about this Leah Thomas situation is a lie and that they are being forced to propagate lies, I don't have to do that. If I wanted to throw up the deuces and say, peace out, I'm retiring. I'm throwing my phone in the ocean, you'll never be able to find me again, I don't ever have to work again. I'm fortunate. I'm 43 years old, and I am so wealthy that I could retire. That's the reality. I have the freedom to say, as a result, exactly what I think. Because if somebody gets mad at me and they say, you can't say that, I can just be like, okay, see ya. I don't have to have this job. I don't have to say a word that I don't believe in. How many people in media can say that? Very, very few. Most people, not just in media, but in life, are in obligation to work. Therefore, they can't say what they really think because they have to make a job to be able to pay their mortgage, to be able to pay for their kids to go to school. I understand that. Trust me, I've been there before. I'll talk about it in a moment as it pertains to Lamar Jackson. I'm not in that position anymore. I'm in a position, it's an incredible luxury, where I get to wake up every single day and say exactly what I think about every subject under the sun. And some of you out there are going to disagree with me. Some of you out there are going to say, I think Clay Travis is full of crap. That's your right. You have the right to listen to my opinions and say you disagree with me wholeheartedly. You can go on social media. You can run your mouth about how much you think I'm an idiot. More power to you. That's what the marketplace of ideas is. But understand, I'm doing this because I love it, not because I have to. And that means that I can tell you exactly what I think. And that, I believe, is why OutKick's audience is skyrocketing and why ESPN is the woke disaster that it is. Because they are filled with people who can't say what they really think. And as a result, the far left-wing woke agenda has overtaken their entire company. It's never going to happen at OutKick. It's never going to happen with any company that I run. And it's certainly never going to happen with me.